All right, welcome back again. Here we go. I'm out in the studio so I can actually talk louder. Sorry, some of those other videos are a little low because I was sitting in bed in the early morning hours and I didn't want to disturb my new roommates. So anyway, yeah, I'm always questioning things. Where do words and terms come from? And I was looking into this Eknar information, and then based on what one of my subscribers had talked about, and then El-Eck-Tri-Si-Ti, L is supposed to be actually Saturn. I thought it was, the sun or the light, but it's actually Saturn, what they used to call Saturn back in the day. An Elohim, Elohim. I think I don't know what to think about that. I mean, we know that means gods, but maybe that is in reference to the seven gods, the seven planetary gods, with El being the highest, most god, because Saturn's ring encompasses all of them. So anyway, I got into this. I thought, was like El must be the light, and maybe it is. Maybe it's all of them. Maybe it's the lightness and the dark. But then Ek is the etheric energy. Tri is the Holy Trinity. City is our realm, earth. Si, and this was just stuff that I was trying to disseminate. And this could be completely wrong, but it's just my brain that's processing information. So Si is that serpent. T is going to always represent the cross. So the T in our vocabulary, in spelling, remember, we're casting spells, y'all, with different frequencies and with the word play. And I'm going to show you in a minute what I found out. So T is always the cross. Of course, they make different shapes out of it and all this so that it doesn't really resemble the cross, but it's the cross. And so then I got into this city or city, and I'm like, well, that could be the caduceus. Plain, T, again, the cross is at the end of the word plain. This is a reference to our flat world with the cross at the end of the word. This is what they do. It's all trickery of the mind. So I was like, well, what is psi? What is the definition of psi? So I said, you know what, let me go look at what psi actually represents. And there's this invisible bar that you guys cannot see, that when you start, going into Zoom, trying to edit stuff, it gets all in your way. And I don't know how to change it. I don't know how to make it go away. I don't need it all the time. It's just frustrating. I have to move it around all the time. Okay. Look at this. So let's go to C. C, look at C. All right. C is T, the symbol for silicon. Yeah, we know that. In solmization, the syllable used for the seventh tone of the scale, or the leading tone. Okay. Well, then let's go find out what T is. Why is it? C is the same as T. Very interesting. So T is basically saying the same word twice, but we think it means something because it's got, all those different letters in it. Those four letters are like city. No, city. Same E is what it is in reference to. So let's go look at T. Tea, a tropical ornament shrub. Of course, we know, like drinking tea. Isn't that funny? Like, this is the proper spelling of T-E-A, tea. I find it interesting that you can drink the liquid tea, but you can't eat tea tree oil. Does that mean it's poison? I mean, this is what they've been doing. They've actually been teaching us to eat poison. So again, the seventh tone in the diatonic scale in solfeggio. In solmization, C, C. So they basically have the same meaning, same sound, same meaning, different spelling. Narrowing it in. So this is the seventh tone again, right? Seventh tone of the scale. This is the leading tone. What does it mean? Well, let's go to solmization. Here we go. It's a system of attributing a distinct syllable to each note of a musical scale. Various forms of solmization are in use and have been used throughout the world, but solfège is the most common convention in countries of Western culture. And I said, okay, yeah, we know. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. The 7 syllables normally used for this practice in English-speaking countries are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and ti, with sharpened notes of di, ri, fi, si, li, and flattened notes of te, le, me, se, me, ra. The system for other Western countries is similar, though si is often used as the final syllable rather than ti. This is how they came up with casting spells, guys. They somehow shut off our ability to telepathically communicate, and they activated the ability for us to just use this written language. They had to teach us this stuff. This is all trickery that's been done on us. I believe that we've been genetically altered, dumped down, shut off from our actual innate abilities. And this is why some people still exude it. They still exude evidence of what we lost. Guido of Arezzo is thought likely to have originated from the modern Western system of solmization by introducing the ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la syllables, which derive from the initial syllables of each of the first 6 half lines of the first stanza of the hymn Ut Chiant Laxis. Giovanni Battista Doni is known for having changed the name of note ut, si, renaming it to do in the do, re, mi sequence known as solfège. An alternative explanation, first proposed by Franciscus Minitsky in Thesaurus Linguarium Orientalium in 1680, and later by J.B. Laborde in Essai sur la musique ancienne and modern, basically, ancient and modern music, 1780, is that the syllables were derived from the Arabic solmization system. Why are we seeing this? Okay, everything that I've come across as far as pointing in reference to who has started all of this stuff, it all points back to Arabic things. Isn't that interesting? And why is it then in the Arabic nations, public drunkenness is outlawed completely? There's a lot of roads that lead back to this area of the world. Why? They point fingers at this area of the world. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with Tartaria, because that's right over there, in Russia. Tartary was part of where the Ukraine is right now. It's the Turks, the Turk. There's been these rise and fall of different empires. And I believe that we're nothing but pawns for these giants that I'm going to show you in a minute, the kings of the 4 corners. It kind of starts revealing some things, and there's more people talk about the giants and all of the stuff that I'm coming across. And I haven't been doing a whole lot of research on other people's websites and YouTube pages and stuff, because I come across information like just this, for example, and I'm like, okay, let's get back to basics, is what I'm trying to do with alchemy and where words come from, and just looking it up out of curiosity, trying to figure out, like, where does this all begin with the spelling? We're casting spells with our mouth. And so I found this, and it just kept leading me down more rabbit holes. So this is what happens to me, and that's why I've got so many subjects, but not enough time in the day to sit and try to edit videos. But I'm going to try to do what I can to bring about more questions for you guys to go out and bring back seeds of knowledge. Let's keep sharing. This is why I do it. I'm throwing this out into the collective conscience because I want us to find the answers to what's going on in this world. And I can't stop. And, by the grace of God and the skin of my teeth, I am still surviving out here in the world because I do not have a job, and I will not have a job, and I will go bankrupt and penniless and poor before I ever go give my soul away again. I refuse, because I have to do this. This is my sole purpose, and I just want the truth, just like everybody else who is actually out here trying to pour stuff out for everybody to look at, because we've got to get there. Somehow we got to get there. And this is all that matters to me, because the world that I see out in front of my eyes every day, it's disturbing me. The way we're destroying nature, the way we're allowing Saturn's rule to destroy our world, because that's really what it is. The darkness is taking over, but most people can't see it that way. They see, oh, this is progress, this is society. No, I see it as we keep killing nature, slaughtering trees, paving over all of the land, burying everything, and yet we're part of nature. So we're basically destroying ourselves without really caring. It's ridiculous. It's almost like insanity. But because of this system that's been put into place, it's tricked us into thinking that we have to assault nature in order to get a piece of paper. That's the lunacy that's going on. And, most people can't see that deep into this world. They're like, oh, you're crazy. You're a tree hugger. You're a conspiracy theorist. Just because they don't see it. They don't see that they're a part of nature. They don't know that their soul is longing for something that no material good can ever give them. They can't take material things with them when they die. And this is what I see. And I'm like, how can I help people see? What can I do? Well, I have a voice, and I have a few computer skills to just be able to make some simple video. I'm not even making anything, special. I just want to get it out there as quickly as possible, because it's about the message more than it is about the, how pretty it is, and, how much sound and production quality it is. I like to spend, lots of hours on productions, but you know what? It takes too long. It's easier just to turn it on and start talking and then just put it up. But, sometimes you got to edit out some stuff. Anyway, I digress. I'm passionate about this, and I don't know how to get the message across other than this. Hey, look at all this stuff that I'm finding. Is anybody else finding this stuff too? Because those are the people that I want to meet. Those are the people that I want to reach. It's like, let's get this out, and then let's start sharing with other people. Because the curious ones are the ones who are going to pull us forward into the future, for other people to be able to see the reality all around them of what we're actually doing to ourselves and our worlds. This is how deep it goes. Mine goes from A to B and then all the way down to Z, because I can see the thick and thin of it. I see it all. And I'm like, you got to put all this stuff together in order to see where we're going. And in order to do that, I feel like we really need to reach far into the past and go as deep as we can into the consciousness and the collective consciousness and where everything comes from, because that's where we're going to learn where we got tricked. Like, where has this trickery started? And let me tell you, it goes back into the golden age. So, I don't know. I want to know more about this Solmization system. And I know that there's people out there who know more than this. I had never heard of Solmization before, but it's really about Solfeggio frequencies, basically, which goes into cymatics. And you see how this is all starting to connect? Like, we go from alchemy, we go from basically yin and yang principle, which is light and darkness, to the 4 elements. And from the 4 elements is how you create everything in this existence, everything, absolutely everything. And then from that, you learn about cymatics and color, and they're all part of the same thing. So it ties back into the one source. of all of it, which is like sound and light. Light is sound and sound is light. So it's like synonymous. And then everything else comes out of it. So once you go into the color theory, it's like this. Now, think about the chakra systems. There's 7 colors. You have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then it goes, I believe, indigo, and then purple or violet. Violet is like going to be the highest thing because the magenta makes it come back around full circle back down to the red. That's in a circle. But get this. Then in art theory and color theory, you have the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. The red being the lowest frequency, and then yellow is going to be up at the solar plexus because it's the sun, right? Okay. So the sun and the red make the orange between them. And then with the sun, solar plexus chakra, and the blue throat chakra, you make green, the heart chakra. This is all color theory. So everything is tying back into the one. And then you come up with these sound frequencies, solfeggio frequencies, and this, solmization system for our words, the sounds that we make. You then make this. This is also alchemy. So it's alchemy of sounds. So you have alchemy of colors or light, basically. And then you have alchemy of sound. You have alchemy of the 4 elements. Everything in existence is alchemy of frequencies. So I bought the domain. I bought that months ago, but I'm like, oh my goodness. I saw it. I saw everything. I'm like, everything is alchemy. Everything in this existence. If you think you're not an alchemist, you're kidding yourself. If you're a chef, you're an alchemist of food. That's a type of frequency. Flavors, alchemy of flavors. Then, you like herbs or you like healing. You're an alchemist of herbs. You're an alchemist of healing. You're into computer science. You're an alchemist of the electronics and the digital systems and stuff. An alchemist of music, alchemist of art. Everybody. That's why it says we are all chemists. Chem was Egypt, the land of Egypt. But I believe it was part of Atlantis. Like the whole world was Atlantis, Lemuria. And it's considered Kim. It's like one. We were one once upon a time during the Golden Age. But that's not what we are anymore. We're the Davidiverse. Davidiverse. We're not a universe right now. We don't have one voice. We're scattered across the 4 winds in all cardinal directions and all the elements across the world because nobody can get on board to do anything together. It's so hard to get people to even unify in consciousness about what's happening in the world. People are still following this false narrative and all this story. It's like a noise that's going on in the world right now with the political system and all this. Oh, it's all controlled. Why can't people see it for what it is? It's amazing to me that even after this hijacked election thing, which wasn't hijacked, it was all by design. Trump's playing his part and Biden's playing his part. And I believe these people they're just working for these giants out in the 4 corners. I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, whether they're giants or elves, maybe they're giant elves, I don't know what they are. I've never seen one, but we're starting to see evidence of people getting really tall in the world. So, man, they're coming from somewhere. The genetics are starting to go up. And they're talking about, the North Pole expanding and stuff. I think it's because our consciousness is rising. So is the Earth. The Earth is going to expand as we rise. Why wouldn't it? I mean, if we rise in consciousness, doesn't that make us bigger somehow too? Maybe we rise in stature. I don't know how it works, but I get a real sense that this is all waves of time. Like everything operates on sine waves of light frequency. It goes up and it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down. And I believe throughout each 2,150-year cycle or so, I believe that's up and down in one age, because that's what we're seeing now. If our true timeline is thus, if it is Pisces, if it's that we're in Pisces and we've just left and we're entering Aquarius, then we have just witnessed the downward slope of the sine wave and starting to go up. Because, you know, I feel like with all the stuff that's happened, with all these wars and all this stuff that's happened, I feel like it's just been by design. And that there's other beings in this world, extraterrestrials, because that just means extra Earth. Don't believe this narrative, is my suggestion. I'm going to suggest it. I can't tell anybody to do anything. I really can't, because I can't control anybody and I won't try to. But I can offer a very strong suggestion to not follow this space narrative that NASA is perpetuating. We know that NASA means liar, basically, in Hebrew or something like that. And, you know, they have been trying to trick us with everything. And they own Hollywood. So why wouldn't they just say, oh, well, we're going to make up a narrative so that people will believe us when we come up with space aliens? When here's how they're getting away from karma by lying to us. They're just tricking us by showing us images of what they want us to believe is space, when space is actually all around us. This is the joke. Space is everywhere, all around us. And aliens are the illegal immigrants that don't pay taxes. Remember, we used to call them aliens all the time. Now, all of a sudden, it means like these other beings from God knows where, you know, out there in some other universe, you know, in their own dimension somewhere. You know, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Now that I listen to it, I'm like, I can't listen to this narrative anymore, because this is what they want us to believe for the new age that's coming about. They want to implant this as the design and the narrative for the new age. And I'm going back in time, y'all. I'm not going along with this age. I'm going back into the past to discover what the golden age was all about, because that's when the height of consciousness was. And we are not in the height of consciousness. You can look around here and know absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt, we are in the winter of consciousness, which is depicted by the, you know, astrotheology chart that I love so much. My favorite chart says, you know what? Winter is right here. Right here, you guys. Look, winter. It lasts for 1.5 ages into half of the age of Aquarius, according to Western astrology. Now, I mean, we don't know what our timeline is. Nobody does, because we live over here in the West. They're changing the stuff. They've changed all the information. Is this 100% correct? I don't know. But you know what? I love this colorful chart. It tells me a lot of things. Just by reading its symbolism, I love it, because I can actually sit here and decipher it. So it's my favorite. Yeah, so you got winter right here, and then Aquarius. See how this pivotal point in Aquarius, this is going to be the highlight, y'all. We will rising in frequency, falling in frequency, back down. That's right. It's sine waves. That is all this is like rise and fall of empires, rise and fall of consciousness. But as we go around the wheel, the entire world will get a new experience. And then eventually, by the time we get back around to the golden age, which is up here, sorry, I'm about to show y'all another image. When we get over here to the gold spring, it lasts for 3 ages, but the pivotal point is always going to be in Taurus. for the Western astrology. I can't speak for Vedic, but as I said, I look at this, I don't know anything about astrology, but I can read this chart because of the symbolism that I've been learning. And that's what's helped me so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, people, when you read the symbols, you're going to know a lot. And it speaks to you with its own voice. So the colors matter too. This is red, then it goes down to the deepest red because it's fire. This is the symbol for fire. The pyramid is always going to represent fire or water. That's what this red shift, blue shift, this is male, this is female. Yin and yang are here. The greatest points are going to be, for the male is going to be from the Gemini all the way over to Pisces. And then we're going to start getting into divine feminine. That's why the male energy is starting to subside. And then the divine feminine is starting to come back because we have to heal the earth. The men don't do it. They rip it apart. Sorry, men. Nothing personal, but it's just, it gets dominated by the male energy and it gets out of balance. But that's what's going to happen too. We're going to have the females come into their power and they're going to bring the green earth back. They're going to bring everything back and then it's going to fall again. It's going to go back down and then go back to the feminine and yin and yang all around the wheel. That's what always happens. Sine waves of time. We're just ebbing and flowing, y'all. It's nothing really to get concerned about, but it's just disrupting in the mind sometimes because you just want to like figure out what's going on in the world. But yeah, see sine waves in phase and out of phase, and then this would be the fire, this would be the water. It's the same thing that you see in Freemasonry, in their elements and stuff. Here's scalar stuff. I've got so many things that I've been saving and images. I've got, waves of emotions. Everything is waves. Everything is this frequency. Everything. And when you comprehend that, then you can look out in the world and go, okay, these people that aren't awake, they're just not on the same frequency. That's okay. They can stay there. They will either have their time or they won't, or they'll just swim around this wheel of time. On the outside is where they are. They're like on the outer ring of the wheel of time, while we are starting to spiral in our consciousness closer and closer. And as we continue to look and question, we start spiraling faster and faster and get closer to the center. That's what all energy does. It just starts getting faster in its waves, depending on your brain waves. We're energy, ebb and flow. Let's get back at this now. So this is the sound notes. Byzantine music uses syllables derived from Greek alphabet to name notes. Starting with A, the notes are pa, alpha, vu, beta, pronounced V in modern Greek. Ga, gamma, D, delta, Ke, epsilon, Zo, zeta, Ni, eta. In Scotland's system known as chanting was used as a means of communicating bagpipe music verbally. That was fun, actually. I think I do that sometimes to entertain myself when I don't know the words to songs. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I make some weird noises sometimes, but that's okay. The Svara Solmization of India has origins in Vedic texts like the Upanishads, which discuss a musical system of 7 notes, realized ultimately in what is known as Sargam. In Indian classical music, the notes in order are sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, and ni, which correspond to the Western solfège system. And then China, in Han's people music in China, the words used to name notes are from fa to mi. Xiang, Chang, Si, Chi, Gong, Huan, Fan, Lu, Mu, Wu, Zi. I really don't know how to speak Chinese. Yi system is used for teaching sight singing. In Japanese, Ancient poem used as tutorial for traditional kana, used for solmization, the symbols representing the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Iro, ha, ni, hon, he, to. Interesting. So this is where our language comes from. And all of these other things are just spelling. Let me give you a hint. It's sigil magic. It's sigils because everything is sigils. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to close these off. The T and the C meaning. I found those very interesting because I was like, I don't know. All right, so let me go over here before I go there. Let me tell you, I just came across this whole notion of the king of the four corners. And there was one who was ruler over all, I guess. King of the four corners of the world, Sumerian. And I was just looking at something, and I don't remember what it was that led me to this whole king of the four corners thing. I was looking at T and C, and I'm like, okay, what? I don't really get it. I was trying to do king at once upon a time because ki is earth. Ng is like Ong for the last airbenders, like his name almost. So king of the four corners, is it King Kong? King Kong, the biggest, baddest, king of the world. There's always mysteries to be found, aren't there? We need to find the knowledge behind it all, though. Okay. King of the four corners of the world. This is Sumerian. Lugalan Ubdalimuba. Akkadian. Saru Kibrat Abrim. Arbaim. Sar Kibrati Arbai. Or Sar Kibrat Erbeti. Alternatively translated as King of the Four Corners of the World, King of the Heavens, Four Corners, or King of the Four Corners of the Universe. The one voice. Often shortened to simply King of the Four Corners, was a title of great prestige claimed by powerful monarchs in ancient Mesopotamia. Though the term of four corners of the world does refer to specific geographical places within and near Mesopotamia itself, these places were, at the time the title was first used, thought to represent locations near the actual edges of the world. And as such, the title should be interpreted as something equivalent to king of all the known world, a claim to universal rule of the entire world and everything within it. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that it's actually four corners. The title was first used by Naram Sin of the Akkadian Empire in the 23rd century BC and was later used by the rulers of the Neo-Sumerian Empire, after which it fell into disuse. It was revived as a title by a number of Assyrian rulers, becoming especially prominent during the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The final ruler to claim the title was the first Persian or Achaemenid king, Cyrus the Great, after his conquest of Babylon in 539 BC. It is possible, at least among Assyrian rulers, that the title of the King of the Four Corners was not inherited through normal means. As the title is not attested for all Neo-Syrian kings, and for some only attested several years into their reign, it is possible that it might have had to be earned by each king individually, possibly through completing successful military campaigns in all 4 points of the compass. The similar title of Sar Kasatim, King of Everything or King of the Universe, also with Akkadian origins and attested for some of the Neo-Assyrian kings, may have required 7 successful military campaigns. The difference between the exact meaning of the two titles may have been that the King of the Universe laid claim to the cosmological realm, whereas King of the Four Corners of the world laid claim to the terrestrial. Remember that game, King of the Mountain, where you basically try to push each other off a hill? As little kids, you try to push push someone down, and then you became king of the mountain when you stood on the top. I think that's what's really going on in this world, is that we have the four kings, and they are at the four corners. And in the four corners, they rule by design. I believe that they have their whole thing, like their time to rule. And I think they ruled four elements. And that is why we have four elements in this wheel of time. The wheel of time is the will of time. And they have their time with us. And they get to rule the world. And then they squabble because they know they're supposed to play nice at the end of their reign. And it is my belief that based on this image right here, that they get to rule for 3 ages each. And that once their rule is over, the next one comes about. And then they get to rule for their 3 ages. And then the next one comes about. And that's why we have 12 cycles here of the zodiac. And that's why we have all the changing time and the changing seasons and the changing things, because the change of the seasons honors each god. It recognizes the god of that particular element. And, you know, when you're looking at some of this stuff, you're like, wait a minute, wait. You know, like, wait. I just want to know what's going on myself. Because even in this chart, you have summer or spring. It says spring here, you know, but there's red, which is interesting. Then you have winter, this black here, because Saturn rules Pisces and Aquarius. Absolutely. And then it changes, you know, for Capricorn, I think. Or actually, no, it goes Aquarius and Capricorn are Saturnian. Pisces was ruled by a different planet. I think it might have been Thor, Jupiter. I'd have to look. Actually, this is it right here. I'm looking right at it. Yes, it's Jupiter right there. This is the symbol for Jupiter. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the outer ring. But then we go into I guess it goes from winter. If this is spring, winter, summer, fall. I don't know. Wait, spring. Let me see. Because this goes backwards from what our yearly cycle goes. Because you know how we go spring, summer, fall, winter. So this is going from winter to fall, and then summer and spring. Fascinating, but these colors don't really match up with what that is. So I don't know. I get confused too, you know, looking at all this stuff, because the astrotheology chart goes backwards from our calendar year. So it starts over here and it marches from Pisces to Aquarius. You know, we start our year with Aquarius, which is completely off. We're not supposed to start the year with Aquarius. We're actually supposed to start like somewhere with Pisces, I think, and go backwards around like Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, or we're supposed to start with Aries in the spring. Something like that. We're supposed to like go around this way clockwise because we're bringing in time, right? Well, this chart, it goes the opposite. So it's pushing out, which would mean someone else makes this chart, supposedly, I guess. Someone told me once that it was because if you're in heaven, you're looking down on the stars, not up at them. So I was like, what? That's profound. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm just throwing out information that I come across because that's all I do. So yeah, here you go. Windows logo. Yeah, they've got the 4 elements going on, 4 seasons, 4 cardinal directions, and a flag waving it in your face. Here's NATO. NATO has a compass. We have Janus, basically. Janus has the four faces. Is that because there's 4 kings of the elements of this plane? I think they're giants. I think we're getting closer. They're either elves or giants or something. And if they're giants, that means it is Muspelheim that has rule right now, I guess, because they're raining fire on our head. Everything they've done has had everything to do with fire. They were burning California, you know, with their lasers and stuff. But I believe the other giants, like they're battling each other constantly for dominion over Middle Earth, Midgard, because they can't agree. Because can you imagine if you're a fire giant and there's an ice giant and he's got the opposite energy of you. You know, he's made of ice or he's, you know, mostly water. He's obviously going to be your enemy, your arch enemy, because you're the fire giant. You don't want any water near your house. You know, oh, the water giant's like, oh, don't you bring your fire over here. I don't need you boiling up my water. And then you got the other two, earth and air. I don't know what the air, I guess the air is good. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I want to know. I mean, why can't we know these entities? All I know is these people have been going down to the South Pole. Why? I think they've been convening with their giant, with their ruler, because there's somebody behind the scenes pulling the strings, and it is not the puppets who are on TV. And it is not the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all them either. I've heard of the Pindar, but you know what? They say that the queen was a Pindar. I don't know. Penis of the dragon is a woman? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a male reptilian in a woman form just to seem like a feeble, you know, thing to get sorrow and remorse from humans. I don't know what is going on. I want to know. That's why I put this information out here. So yeah, that's that. And I just wanted to know about all this stuff. So terrestrial, really? Wow. Okay. King of the Four Corners. There you go. What do you think about that? Yeah, and here we go. The seal of the Neo-Sumerian king Ibisen in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The inscription reads, Ibisen, the strong king, king of Ur, king of the 4 corners of the world. And I imagine that guy, Ibisen, he probably had his little time to reign and then got pushed off his little throne. Because there's another, you know, it's time for the ice giant or the fire giant or the earth giant to have their time. And they're fighting and they're getting us to fight each other. And I believe this is why Odin stopped fighting. Because, you know, even in the movies, if you watched the Thor series, Hela gets mad. She's upset with Odin and she's fighting him and she's in hell and all that stuff because Odin stopped his conquest on the world. Because I think he came to the realization that he was being played between these 4 giants and these 4 cardinal directions and these 4 elementals, that he was getting played. And so he said, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm throwing down my weapons and I'm not doing this anymore. And so he started making peace. That's kind of what I feel from it. I don't know if that's the truth, but you know what? I feel that I'm like, that's kind of, I think I'd go somewhere too. If I knew if I could go somewhere else besides here, I wouldn't be here. You know, take me to the center of the earth where I can just ride in there and the hurricane can just whip around I mean, is that what we're looking for? I I want to go there. I don't know about you, but I want to go. I don't know how to go, if they supposedly had the military. Can they really guard it that heavily? Can we really guard the borders of this country very heavily? I don't think we can guard everything, y'all. I really don't. I think they try to pretend like they can do all this stuff, but I think that they've got us, hoodwinked for the most part. Because I've been down to Mexico, deep South Mexico, down to the peninsula. And let me tell you, they don't have red light cameras. And they don't, a lot of times they don't have traffic lights. And they barely had Wi-Fi. So, I just, these remote areas, they're not going to have the technology to monitor us trying to cross the border of somewhere. It's all lies and control of the mind, mostly. If you travel by car, yeah, you're going to be stopped. But if you're walking across in the woods, nobody knows where you are. Not yet, not until they get their full control with the metaverse and all of these robots that are coming out that want to kill us. Half of them want to kill us, and the other half want to love us. It's the Inky and Enlil story. They're still here. I don't think they ever left, but they want us to think they did. Yeah, here's the guy's portrait. This is Naram Sin of Akkad's portrait. Naram Sin, who reigned between 2254 and 2218 BC. This would have been during the Golden Age. Created the title King of the Four Corners of the World, relief today housed at the Istanbul Museum. Look at this guy. You can barely even make out who he is. And it's interesting that they always have this textured beard. Are they brown people? I want to know. This is what I think they're tricking these people with a lot of melanin in their skin. I think they're tricking them because I think that these people are very powerful once upon a time. And that they were the kings of the world. And that they've been duped into fighting each other. And to believing that they are less than. And they destroyed Africa. They have ripped Africa asunder. But they ripped the Grand Canyon asunder too. I think that was all that Indra weapon stuff, along with pyramids, possibly pyramid technology turned into weapons. They blew each other up. And then they destroy us, all these wars around the world. They don't blow up infrastructure that matters. They're always blowing up villages and apartments and where the citizens reside. They don't blow up financial institutions. It's all lies, and they get us to play these stupid games. And I wish people would realize this, that it's all a lie. Joining the military. And I'm sorry for all you people who are veterans and stuff out there. But the truth hurts. Believe me, it's hurt me so many times that I can't even fathom. But when you see it for what it is, this is what I'm trying to help people do, is see it for what it is, because they've been lying to us, tricking us, doing all this stuff, getting us to fight each other. And that's completely the wrong thing to do. They're getting us to destroy each other and destroy our world, because we have darkness and light, and you can't get away from either one of them. They're always there. Okay. Well, that's all I got for now. I have more to add to this, I know, because I've always got something to add. But I'm going to leave this here for now. And when I have something else, I'm just going to throw it right out there again. And I will see you guys again very soon.